Hello, my wonderful friends, Magus with you. Today's message, if you listen to it to the end, will awaken you. You cannot hear these words of truth and not become awakened. I'm going to ask you not to accept this world as it is just because you were told this is how it is. We're not going to fight this world, but we're going to look at it, we're going to examine it, and we're going to understand it. And then with your own heart, you're going to decide for yourself. This society, the political system, the world religions, were all built on lower animal instincts, on survival of the fittest, on fear, hate, and greed. Imagine what we could do building a religion, a society, a government built on the highest truths. Imagine the evolution that would take place of love and peace. I'm going to show you today how that the world religions separate you from God by getting you not to trust your own heart, that divine spark, that compass inside of you that always leads you to God, to good. As I share these things with you, it goes all around the world, and I have friends of every faith and religion, and I don't want to lose any followers, but I want to present you with the highest truth so that we can all evolve together. And isn't that what we want? The highest truth. So I'm going to ask you not to shut me off, but to watch this to the end. And if your belief that you hold is truth, and you walk through the fire, it will still be there when you come out. But if it's burned away and you have a change of heart, a change of mind, isn't that what you want? Don't you want the highest truth, God, the highest good? And that's what I'm going to present today, the best that I can. I want to talk about world religions first, and then we're going to talk about politics and society. The world religions, let's start with Hinduism. The story out of the Gita, their main text of Arjuna, and he's looking across the battlefield. They're in a civil war, and he's seeing his family and friends. His heart and conscience is telling him he doesn't want to fight. He says, I would rather lose all the land and possessions and things than to kill my family and friends. And then in the story, apparently it's supposed to be God incarnate as Krishna tells him to override his heart and go do his duty and kill, because it's all just Maya, all just illusion. Let's look at Judaism. We were taught as small kids with cartoon characters and felt boards about, apparently God told the prophets to have the Israelites go in and kill men, women, and children. And we're almost desensitized to it because it was taught to us as children in a childlike way, and we're not really seeing it or experiencing it. And so as we grow older, we seem to be okay with these stories, but we must take time to actually stop and think about that. What does it look like to kill a child, to run a sword into a child? What would that look like? What would his mother's eyes look like as she's watching you? What would you feel? What would that sound like? What noises would he make and cries would you hear? How would that make your own heart feel? Is that really God? Is that really good? If good and God are the same thing, God means the highest principle of good. Can you say that's a good thing? Or is that something that's going to haunt you the rest of your life, that you would lose your soul, your mind from experiencing and doing? And that's why I'm asking you, don't worry about what any book says, any priest says, what tradition says. What does your heart say? Islam teaches it's okay to lie and to deceive and to kill the infidel. Doesn't that go against our very nature inside, to lie, to deceive, to kill? But yet they're telling us that's God's will. Don't we truly know inside that's not right? Don't we know God didn't want animal sacrifices? They're still to this day sacrificing animals in Judaism, in Islam, in Hinduism. To this day, they're still doing animal sacrifices. It's horrible. It's cruelty. And you must know it inside. And as I was putting this video together, I was actually putting video clips, and I put an animal sacrifice, and it showed a little lamb, and it was shaking and scared, and then they tortured and killed the poor thing, and it broke your heart. And I was thinking, how do people, without having to see it, not know that's wrong? Why do you have to be shocked awake like that? Why can't you just know? And it's because we've been lulled to sleep. We've been deceived since we were children. They take you as a small child. They put you in their religious Sunday schools, into their educational systems. Your parents, your preachers, your teachers are telling you this is what it means to be a man, to be a grown-up, to live in the real world. My friends, the real world is God's perfect idea. A perfect creator created a perfect world, and I'm going to teach you how to step in that today and to change this world. People think it's an impossible feat. It's not, and I'm going to show you how simple it truly is. The original religion that Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Christianity all branched off of and went wrong came off of Zoroastrianism. The message of the Magi. The message of the Magi is the all good God. He's all love, all peace, all joy, all kindness, all freedom, every good thing, the highest principle of good, the highest truth. And then there's an evil spirit that hates, wars, kills, and destroys. And the good spirit has none of those attributes. And the evil spirit has none of the good spirit's attributes. They're completely separate. That is the true religion. And as the other religions branched off, they started to mix the two energies. So now that the God in their religion could hate, war, and kill. And in their religion, the evil spirit can be tricky by doing good or healing to try to deceive and trick. Impossible. They are two completely different energies that cannot come together. It's like where health is, sickness cannot be. Where life is, death cannot be. Where light is, darkness cannot be. They cannot come together at all. So we must have a higher idea of our religion. We first need a new religion, because we will never rise above our religion. A religion is a set of beliefs, and you will never rise above your highest belief. So we need the highest belief, the highest good, the highest truth. Ahura Mazda, the all good spirit that is all love, all peace, all joy, all kindness. Also, as I was putting this video together, I was putting different pictures from genocide and how the religions thinks it's okay to go in and kill men, women, and children. So I was putting pictures so that people could visually see what that looks like. And instantly, you know, that's evil, that's bad, that's wrong. I was putting things together with abortion. The technology these days is so amazing. You can see the features and the characteristics. And I was putting a video of a baby, and he's playing with his toes and sucking his thumb. And then they come in and they start ripping him apart, and you see him scream out in pain. But as I was putting this together, it was so horrific. My mom was standing there with me, and she was watching me. I didn't even have a proper reaction to it. I had this weird nervous laugh coming out of me, and I'm thinking, what is this? What is wrong with me? I don't think this is funny. I'm about to cry. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. All these emotions welling up in me, and just this nervous, weird laugh coming out of me. And I was thinking, this is just pure evil. I don't want this on my video. I don't want you to see these images. I was also putting images for a vegetarian lifestyle, showing little baby pigs and going through their slaughter, and it's cruelty. It's so horrid. Why can't people wake up and see this? Why do people put up with this? And I think it's because they're just lulled to sleep. When you go to school your whole life, they never give you a chance to think for yourself. They take you as a small child. They put you in their educational system. You're there all day. Then they give you hours of homework. You go home and do the homework. Then you have a small block of time, a couple hours of free time. Then you go into a career in your job and you work your whole life and you work all day long. You have a couple hours free time. You don't have time to go out and experience the joy and goodness that instinctively you want. So what do people turn to? Drugs and alcohol and the poison TV with their 30-minute blocks of poison and hate and fear, and they just feed on it. They feed on the drugs and the alcohol and the perversion on the television set, and then they go back the next day and they're a slave to their job. We were created to live in God's beautiful world. Do you know why people hate God, fear God? They won't say it because they're scared that they'll go to hell, but in their hearts they do, because they blame God for their life that they're living in, the world that they're living in that looks so ugly to them. They see it as just being a slave, going to school their whole life, going to a job their whole life. All they have is the TV and the drugs and alcohol, and the TV showing them what an awful world it is, and they're mad at God. And they actually like the devil, because at least the evil spirit gives them drugs and alcohol and perversion on TV. At least they feel like they're getting something. But what they don't realize, they're trapped in a lie. They're trapped in an illusion of the dark system. In truth, a perfect creator created a perfect world. You just have to step out of their lie. Come up into the mountains. I live it every day. In the mountains, you walk in the fresh air. You smell the pine. You hear the birds singing. You go stand under a waterfall and feel it fall on you. You go make a campfire and sit and talk and laugh with your kids. You build a boat with your own hands and just bob around on a beautiful mountain lake, laying in the sun with not a care on your mind. There's plenty of land. There's plenty of food. There's plenty of water. The government tells you can't have it. That's their land, their water, their food. But it's not true. It's God's, and it's yours as a child of God. You can garden. You can grow your food. There's plenty for all of us. There is no lack. It's a lie that they've created to keep you all bunched together in their little scheme and their lie. But you can break free. There's a beautiful life. God created a perfect world for you to step into. You don't need their drugs. You don't need their alcohol. You don't need their poison media. You need to come into truth. Asha, God's perfect idea. Listen to me. Ahura Mazda, the perfect creator, made a perfect world, and it's available for you if you just step into it. It's all it is a change of heart, a change of mind. We need a new religion, a new political system, and new media, and it's not that hard to do. I saw a beautiful example of this. It showed a bunch of slaves all bowing down and one slave master with a whip, and then one slave stood up. He had enough. And then another one stood up. Pretty soon they all stood up and stuck together. And then it showed the slave master bow down. There's billions of us, and this message is going all around the world. All you have to do is say no more. We don't want your monster God and religion anymore. We don't want your political system anymore. We don't want your filth on the TV set anymore. We want Asha. God's highest idea is our religion. The government of God is our government, is our political system. Man being run by that divine spark, their own heart that loves their neighbor as themselves, that wants good and freedom, and there's enough for everybody. My friends, I'm going to ask you to have a change of heart. Don't put up with killing anymore. No more abortions. No more eating animals for food. No more spraying poisons around your home and in your yard. I've always said, and I know this is true as a prophet of God, the cure to cancer is in the very thing everyone's trying to poison and kill. Those yellow dandelions out in your yard that everyone's trying to kill and get rid of, if you can understand that flower, that root, that system, you will know how to cure cancer. But what do they want to do? They want to spray poisons. It poisons the earth. It poisons you. And it's killing the very system and energy that could bring them life. My friends, I'm going to ask you today to make a change of heart, a change of mind. I'm going to ask you to accept Ahura Mazda, the all-good spirit. I'm going to ask you to let go of the monster god. I'm going to ask you to stop killing of all types. I'm going to ask you to stop hating, to stop judging, to all the evil that's been put into you. I'm going to ask you to rebuke that, to ask God to bring that out of you and to replace it with His Holy Spirit of truth, with Asha. I'm going to ask you to watch everything you put in your eyes. They will not keep putting filth and poison on our TVs if you don't watch it. It's all money run with them. You can run them out just by cutting off their money stream. They'll start putting what you want to see. And we want to see good, healthy entertainment, things that we're going to take into us and into our children that will bring life and peace and joy and prosperity, not death and sickness and bondage and slavery. And as we all start coming together and vibrating higher and living in these higher thoughts and dimensions, the political system will change. It's a big joke here. Every 4 years they switch back and forth, but it's always the same dark system, the same lies, and it never changes. But it will change with this next generation coming up, because they're going to say no more. We're not going to have hate anymore. We're not going to have fear and greed anymore. And as all the world is coming together and loving each other, we're going to get rid of those rulers that have put themselves in high places. We're going to pull them down, and we're going to come up and we're going to live in Asha, in truth, in Ahura Mazda, the all-good God, as brothers and sisters in love. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.